What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the first Timeout with uSTADIUM of the NFL offseason. In case you missed it, I don't know how you did. Tom Brady won his seventh Super Bowl ring. I'm going to go on a little bit of victory lap to start the show, because if you guys remember from last week, not only did I say that the Bucs were going to win, I said that the Chiefs were going to struggle offensively because that offensive line was in shambles. And somebody on this show said I wasn't giving their offense the credit that it deserves and that we were crazy. Nick, what happened?
Yeah, I'll take my lashes for that one. I mean, Jesus, that was an old school Brady beatdown. I'll take that one. No problem. I don't know what the hell happened. Mahomes was like fighting for his life out there, and the whole team was just out of whack from the start. So it was a strange game to cap off a strange season. That's for sure.
It really was. But that leads us perfectly into our first topic of the night. Who is to blame for the Chiefs not being able to do anything in this game? Not score a touchdown, not stop the Bucs offense? Who are we blaming for this? Is it just one person? Is it more than one person? What do we got?
Yeah, it's hard to just put it on one person. It was really an epic flop on, the entire three units, the coaching staff. You had Tom Brady texting his entire team at 43, whatever years old he is, at 11 o'clock every night saying, we will win. If I had that inside information, I probably would have picked against him. So, but no, I mean, he's just that team was just willed, man. Like Levante David, their linebackers played out of control. Their interior pass rush made Mahomes really sweat all game, and the offensive line was just, I thought that they would just be able to kind of piece it together, and Bieniemy and Reed would have been able to kind of put together a game plan that was able to at least let Mahomes have a few seconds back there and let him do what he does. But I mean, it was just a complete meltdown from the staff to the team to the offense to the defense. Special teams didn't do anything. It was just really ugly. So it's hard to really pinpoint one person. It definitely isn't all on Mahomes. I don't want to hear that he choked in a big game or whatever. I mean, you could say maybe Andy Reid, another big game that he was a big letdown in. I mean, it's been kind of his MO his entire career. He was bailed out by Mahomes' epic performance last year in the Super Bowl. They were down against the Niners. So, maybe if you want to put it on the coaching staff, they just didn't have the offensive line, those backups or even third stringers kind of put together and was able to let Mahomes do a little bit. It was just a complete, one team wanted it and the other team really just didn't show up.
Yeah, well, just to jump in real quick. I mean, if you guys want your own show, that's fine. I think you guys would have a great show together, just saying. I mean, how are we not going to bring up the fact that I said Leonard Fournette was going to be the game?
I was going to let you have your own victory lap. I'm taking mine, and then we can all converge together on the same point.
Like you, we didn't want to take
sleeper MVP was Gronk, and he should have won it.
Yeah,
should have won it. Brady only had 201 passing yards. It's not enough. That's not MVP level. But I was shocked, honestly. Even up until the game started, I did not expect the Bucs to win. Even though I told everyone on the show and I made a bet that the Bucs were going to win, I really did not think they would win. There was something that happened during the game when it started that made me think that, wow, this is going to be potentially a Bucs beatdown. When you have Shaq Barrett, Vita Vea, and Ndamukong Suh, JPP, when you have defensive linemen that are going to just focus on one game and they're going to put everything they have into getting to the quarterback for one game, that opens everything up for a defense. And you're going to get production from your defensive line, similar to the way that the Giants did when they had OC and Tuck and those guys. When you're focused on one game and it's in 2 weeks and that's all you're going to focus on and you have the talent at D-line, those guys are going to get after the quarterback. I think Ndamukong Suh had the most pressures out of any player in that game. So even though people aren't talking about him, he had a great Super Bowl. He had a lot of pressure. So the Bucs just really got after it, their D-line, and that's how you win Super Bowls. I mean, I was saying it, offense wins games, defense wins championships. It's usually right, in my opinion. It's usually there's some legitimacy there, and this was the Super Bowl that you could really point to that. On the other end, the Chiefs offense, they needed to establish a running game. What are you doing not trying to establish Clyde Edwards-Helaire? And Le'Veon Bell didn't play a snap. I mean, you're not going to go out there and throw all over this team again with a hurt Mahomes. The game plan was bad, and the Bucs just took advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean, what they did to Tyreek Hill alone was incredible. I mean, that guy is such a game wrecker. To be able to, he was non-existent. Like, let's be honest. Like, I don't care what his stats were. He may have had 5 catches for 70 yards. I don't know what his stats were. But the fact that you don't,
he had 133. He had a big game, Tyreek, but he had good yards at the end of the game.
Yeah, he didn't do anything.
Yeah, he didn't do anything productive.
Yeah, nothing to really impact the game. There wasn't like, oh, there's Tyreek blowing the top off of. The
sorry, defense. You were right. 7 catches for 73 yards. Sorry, I was looking.
That was a total guess on my part. Anyway, I had no idea. But just you didn't be like you weren't like, oh shit, there's Tyreek, a big play, or he made like a 60-yard catch and the Chiefs went into the red zone. They didn't score a single touchdown. I mean, Devin White, Brianna, you called that one. He was unbelievable. He's ridiculous. Like him and David, like that team is. And the most underrated guy, Sean Murphy-Bunting, is awesome. Nobody really talks about him. Getting Antoine Winfield back that extra week to kind of heal up, he was great. They really, just from the front four to the linebackers to the corners and those 2 safeties were just, they all had impacts. It wasn't, you can't single one unit out. Like maybe if you want to, like you said, Frank, that front four really generated pressure almost on every snap. But the linebackers played a huge game. The corners were awesome. Winfield was great. It was just really like they were dialed in, and that's the Tom Brady effect. You can Brady threw for 201 yards. He didn't have like the MVP, game, if you want to say that. But when Tom Brady is your quarterback, everybody is dialed in. Like you could tell the defense is wearing the combine shirt of Brady with the dad bod at like 23 years old. Like those guys just respect the hell out of this guy, and he commands it. So like, people were talking, oh, Brady's not the same guy or Brady's done during the season. I was always like, no, he's not, man. Like this team is going to win games in December and January because of Tom Brady. So he just makes everybody step their game up 1 or 2 levels. And that's what it took. Like this team was so talented. Like there's talent everywhere on that team. And like Leonard Fournette, like huge game from him, that big run for the big touchdown run. Like these guys are all just playing and giving that extra bit because of Tom Brady, and it just shows like he's the ultimate winner and the ultimate like GOAT, if we want to call him that. So he's
and even guys like for the Bucs, even Ronald Jones contributes 12 carries for 61 yards, over 5 yards a carry. I mean, they wanted to win this game. They were dialed up. They were dialed in, and that was what happened. And I'm actually glad that that a team like that actually was focused and put all their energy into winning actually won. Yeah. The Chiefs are going to have to look at the team they've established and what they're looking to do and maybe change some things around. You can't just have Tyreek and Kelsey. They may need to find another wide receiver on the open market. They may need to think if Clyde Edwards-Helaire is their long-term option at the position. What are they going to do with Bell? The Chiefs have some questions going forward too, honestly. So people need to look at them too. And everyone wanted to crown them the next dynasty. They have some pieces. They have some holes to fill before they become a dynasty. If you're losing games like that in the Super Bowl where your star quarterback's not throwing for a touchdown, you may have to look at what you have. And
why doesn't anybody want to rip like Andy Reid? Why is everybody letting him off the hook? Ultimately, like this is who he was always. He always lost the big game. His team was always unprepared. The clock management, like that's Andy Reid. Yeah, he kind of got the monkey off his back last year when they won the Super Bowl thanks to Mahomes, but he's going to get carried by Mahomes the rest of his career. There's no doubt about it. But this is Andy Reid. He loses big games. And the team just wasn't ready. Him, the enemy, the defense, Spagnuolo. I mean, I don't think the defense was that bad. I don't think, they just kind of went up and down the field on them. But it's not like anybody really stood out on the defensive side of the ball, too. So I think Andy Reid deserves a lot of blame.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of people try to make excuses for the Chiefs. They had that COVID scare during the week. This whole mess with Andy Reid's son drunk driving. Like
horrible.
The refs, the refs wanted the Bucs to win. Typical like loser mentality excuses. And like, how are you going to sit here for the last however long and say, oh, run it back. Like the amount of people I saw on the plane down there with these masks that said run it back on them. I'm looking at my friend. I'm like, the fuck are we doing? Like, act like you've been there before. Huh?
There were Chief fans coming from Boston going down there?
No, we had a layover in
layover?
Charlotte.
Okay.
So it was like a culmination of everybody from every which way. And there was a group of Chiefs fans, and all their masks said "run it back" on it. And I'm looking at my friend.
Yeah, they got a little ahead of themselves. They were
relax. Like,
Brianna got one to go to the bar. She's like, "Run it back on the tequila shots."
Man, I don't even want to talk about the amount of tequila I drank this weekend. We're not going to get into my weekend.
Any avocado tequila?
Oh man, no, it wasn't avocado tequila. I was like Tom Brady times 2.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know avocado tequila was a thing.
It's not a thing.
For Brady, it is.
For Brady, it is. For the TB12 method, it is.
I drank way too much on Super Bowl. It's become like an annual thing for me. I don't know what's wrong with me on Super Bowl. I get way too hammered for no reason.
Excited for the season to end.
Yeah, probably.
Was like my version of The Hangover. Like, it was just. We're not going to get into it. It's fine. Now, speaking of Tom Brady, get the attention off of me. Speaking of Tom Brady, where does he stand in your mind across all sports as the greatest of all time? Do you think he surpasses anybody? Do you think he's alone at the top? What's the idea here?
All right, let me get in on this quickly. All right. I'm a big Tom Brady fanboy. I am. However, the GOAT is Michael Jeffrey Jordan. MJ changed the way that we look at modern athletes today. MJ, when he was zoned in, you were not stopping that guy. Jordan won 3 chips, semi-retired, came back half a season, lost to the Magic in the playoffs, which no one talks about, but then won another 3 chips. But MJ is the GOAT. Never went to a Game 7 in the finals, never lost in the finals. Brady played in a good system for a while, although I've bashed them before, the Patriots. I think with Belichick in that system, you can't just ignore it. Jordan really came from an organization, the Bulls, that were in the dumps. They were ready to kind of cave that franchise in completely before he got there. So you had Doug Collins come in, and then eventually when Phil came, you saw things shift. But Michael Jordan's the GOAT. Sorry, he is. You know who's not the GOAT on that picture, by the way, who should not be up there?
Guy.
No,
the hockey guy.
Wayne Gretzky, what do you – Wayne Gretzky has more points. You know, if you took away all of Wayne Gretzky's goals, he still leads, I think, all time.
Still the points leader.
If you saw him walking down the street, you wouldn't even know who he was.
Nick, you don't even know points in hockey for assists. You have no idea.
What'd you say?
You know, you get points in hockey for an assist. You get like 1 point, I think, right?
They make up like scoring. Nobody cares about that. It's garbage.
They make up scoring.
Muhammad Ali, you get a point for a tie. That's bullshit. Win or you lose.
Yeah, it's not that simple in some other sports, Nick.
That's why they all suck. Come on, you put a hockey guy up there. Like, if you ask 10
Wayne
people,
Gretzky is like it's galaxy brain. His stats.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Oh man.
Yeah, Nick, people in Canada care.
It should be Jordan, Brady, Tiger Woods, and then whoever else you want to put.
Tiger Woods, you were saying the other day we were on the phone. Tiger didn't after that fall. He never really got back. You can't put Tiger up there.
A year ago was probably like the biggest comeback of any athlete all time.
You know what Nick Wright said about Tom Brady, which you can say about Jordan and you could potentially say about Gretzky? They not only have 2 Hall of Fame careers, you can make the argument they have 3 Hall of Fame careers.
Listen, Nick Wright is just absolutely backtracking, covering his ass for everything he said. Like, are you kidding me? This guy was dancing on Brady's grave last year. And now he's saying,
Brian puts a
3.
Nick, look at this.
The hockey guy. I mean, are you kidding me?
Nick, this is 3 Hall of Fame careers. You go from 81 to 80. I mean, 81 to 90, excuse me. Then you go, Ryan, can you put the years, dude? I'm like tripping. You take you split them in segments of 3. You're going to get potentially 3 Hall of Fame careers. Only really Brady, Gretzky, and Jordan's a little bit iffy, but Jordan would make the Hall of Fame in 3 separate segments of his career. Considering the NBA Hall of Fame, they give it to guys like Bradley Beal if they average 25 points for 2 years. But But Nick,
I can't.
Come on, look at Gretzky.
I don't even know any of these players on these teams. What's LA? Oh, the LA Kings. Nobody cares.
What's the LA Kings?
That's a street gang. That's a street gang. It's not a hockey team.
The Latin Kings.
Come on, man. We're not talking
man.
about hockey on this show. Get out of here.
Oh my God.
It's Tiger Woods, it's Brady, and it's Jordan. And give me some more time, and I'll come up with somebody in baseball. I don't want to put Babe Ruth because he was like
damn old.
Played in the 20s. Who knows? Brady's the ultimate GOAT.
It's between Brady and MJ, and it's always going to be. It's always going to be.
The
only reason
it ain't LeBron James for all these like 15-year-old drooling kids on Instagram. Get out of here. It's not the case.
And the only reason why, even being as big of a Brady fan as I am, why I'm still going to say it's MJ is because MJ played offense and defense.
Yeah.
You don't do that as a quarterback, obviously.
The thing with Brady that really makes him really special and when you're talking about GOATs is physically speaking, he's not physically in even top 50 category. I mean, talking about his arms, legs, his strength. He's not, but it's just his mind. He has that mind over matter element that just really takes him to the next level, which is super interesting when you're comparing him to Michael Jordan. Physically was a freak. Tiger Woods was a freak. Gretzky was a freak. So was Muhammad Ali and whoever else you want to bring on. People are talking about Serena Williams. She's a freak. Brady a freak? Maybe the freak with him though comes with his diet and stuff like that. Yeah,
mentally.
It's all mentally. All how
he's going to double the highest. Yeah, he's got the stats right there. He's going to double the next highest Super Bowl winner as a quarterback. Like I guarantee you, Brady's going to win another Super Bowl. He'll end up with 8. That's more than double. That's double Montana and Bradshaw. So it's not like he's got 6 and Montana's got 4. Like no, he's going to double the guy by the time it's all over. And there's no decline in Brady. Like when if you look at his numbers all together, you'll see some up, some down, but like there has never been a drop. Like where you're like, wow, like it's not like Peyton Manning when he declined and the defense carried him to the Super Bowl and he used his mind, really to kind of just keep it going and win that Super Bowl. Brady's still putting up crazy stats and he's still like there's no like drastic decline. I think that's going to be the only time, when he does retire, it's going to be because he's just not good enough anymore. Like
that's a good one. Javi, I like that. I like that out of left field.
Yeah, but it's steroid. I love Bonds. He should be a
Bonds. His numbers are unbelievable. Oh man, yeah.
He was a different kind of dominant on the juice though, and I'm pro steroids. I have no problem admitting it. I really am. I think they were great for the sport, and there's no way you can tell me definitively. Yeah, why don't they juice the ball? It's basically the same thing. So somebody's getting juiced at the end of the day, but you just can't for that fact.
Oh my God.
For that fact alone, you can't put Bonds in there. I don't know. You just can't do it. Like, yes, you can put him in the Hall of Fame. He should have been in it, but he can't be a GOAT. I'm sorry.
We have someone on Twitch watching. I like this. Let's go. Our Twitch channel's starting to get some people. We got Mr. Strong 1.
Let's
go. There we go. That's my guy.
What other athlete is married to a supermodel? A few of them, but none of them are as hot as Giselle. I don't care.
Yes.
She's naturally beautiful.
I think Giselle's totally overrated. I'm sorry.
Get the heck out of here.
Sorry.
Are you kidding me?
Kids, dude, she's older now.
Great. There's no doubt about it, but I don't know. This is a Pandora's box if we get into this. But I've always said that, Frank. I think there are better, more beautiful women that players are married to than that. Giselle is overrated. Wow. I stand by that. I have no problem standing by that.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that one.
She makes more money than Brady does anyway, so it's
she does.
Nothing to knock her on, but I'll move on before I get into trouble there.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we should not
save you there, Brianna.
No, listen. I disagree, and if I just went into it, it would be a whole mess. I know. All right, we're moving on. This one is an interesting topic, especially for me, because we all know who I'm a fan of. I won't say it because I know the boys in the comments get angry when I bring up who I'm a fan of, so I won't say it. But please don't. Please don't get me started on that. We're not going to talk about that. How much does Brady winning number 7 hurt Bill Belichick's legacy? This is interesting because there was always that talk of, if Brady wins another one, then Bill's going to, look like a horse's ass. Well, it happened. So what are we going to say now?
Can I ask everyone out there one question? When you look at this question and we got a ton of no's. All right, ask yourself this. Who did the Buccaneers look like this year? What team do you remember that did this for the last 15 years or 20 years? Who did the Bucs look like this year? The Patriots. Why did they look like the Patriots? Because of the guy that you see on the right side of this picture, number 12. Yes, of course, Brady winning his first year with the Bucs at 43 makes you rethink Belichick's legacy. I would love to hear what people think. Make sure you guys like the stream and get some comments in. But of course, like it affects Belichick's legacy. Look who the Bucs looked like this year. They looked like the Patriots. So you can't ignore the fact that they won a Super Bowl with Brady in his first year in Tampa, and the Patriots didn't even make the playoffs. So you have to rethink it. It's Brady demands everything from the top to the bottom. From the first guy, most important man on the roster, maybe for the Bucs, that was Mike Evans, to the bottom guy. So everyone wants to win, and people are playing their heart out. And now you see players want to play with them. Adrian Peterson came out today and said he wants to play with Brady. Everyone wants to play with this guy. So it was the same thing in New England too. A lot of guys went there and wanted to win some quote unquote cheap rings. So don't think that would happen if Brady wasn't in New England. You wouldn't have these guys wanting to just jump on board and go in there to play also.
Yeah,
so,
I think there's something definitely to be said about people would rather play with Brady than Belichick. I think for sure there's you might start to see, even Stafford said it, like he doesn't want to go play in New England under Belichick right now. Granted, I don't know, he's used the weather as an excuse, but I don't think it does, because when you take a look at 1 year, and I'm not going to use 1 year to make this argument from the best dynasty and 20-year run of any team in any sport. I'm not going to just boil it down to one season, but when you look at the talent that Brady left, or the lack thereof in New England, and where he went into Tampa, it's not like he went to a team that was stripped of talent and took them to the Super Bowl too. He was the missing piece for sure, and he got more out of this team than any other quarterback or any other coach could. You could say, if Bruce Arians should thank him for the Super Bowl ring, because Arians damn sure ain't winning it with anybody else, because he's been a meddling coach his entire career. He had to have Brady kind of pull him to a Super Bowl, but Belichick has. You'll see a lot this offseason and next year if he sticks around. You can't, Belichick had that system in place. He was able to bring in a different quarterback, multiple times, whether it was Castle or Garoppolo, and was able to at least win some games. You played with a broken Cam Newton this year and opt-outs. So when I see a full roster with a quarterback who can actually play, and if they go 7-9 again, then maybe. But I'm not just going to throw everything that Bill Belichick has done aside from one season alone. Yeah, Brady went and won a Super Bowl with a franchise. Otherwise, it's been pretty terrible. But the team, we just went through the names. They didn't just get here this year. These guys were here for a few years. They just didn't have a guy like Brady to, excel and bring them to the next level. But there was a ton of talent in Tampa, and there just wasn't in New England. I am all for the ripping Bill Belichick, the GM. I think he's a terrible GM, terrible drafter, roster builder for sure. But the system and what he does and how he, the discipline and everything else that comes with Bill Belichick, not one season is not going to change 20 other ones. It's impossible.
Yeah. No, I'm in the same mindset too, that you can't make this judgment off of one season with what Bill, like you said, with what Bill was working with, essentially the same receiving core as last year, which was garbage. Yeah. Absolutely garbage this year and last.
And no Edelman for half the year.
No Edelman for half the year. He was hurt. However many major opt-outs. Like losing Dante Hightower is huge. Losing Marcus Cannon is huge. Losing Patrick Chung is huge. Albeit like Kyle Duggar came in and I think he did a pretty good role filling that spot that Patrick Chung left. And the word on the street is all these guys are planning on coming back next year, which is great. That boosts this Pats team tenfold. But you can't look at, like you said, you can't look at 20 years of two guys being the absolute best at what they do, respectively. And then the 1 year that they're apart, one goes to a team that's already very talented, just missing a quarterback. And Brady bringing Gronk is a lot. I mean, it really goes without saying, but it's a huge factor. I mean, I'm not necessarily sure that if they don't have Gronk this season, Cam Brate gets the job done at tight end.
Yeah, he was the best offensive player not named Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
What exactly?
Oh
what Gronk doesn't provide receiving, he provides in blocking, and that helps your run game more than anybody else. You look at Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce doesn't block like Gronk does. Mm-hmm. You can call him the greatest tight end you want right now, but until he blocks like Gronk does, he's a glorified wide receiver who just has a tight end's body.
Yeah,
like that's it.
And the intangibles that Gronk brings, people look at him and think he's like a dumbass because he's like a dopey frat dude. But like he's smart. Like he's a smart football player. You know, he's also when you see him, you want to be accountable for your job. He makes Brady a better player. Yeah, and he does. He lightens the mood.
Like to play with him.
It was just a great vibe. Like I'll credit Arians because I do rip him a lot. But he did let Brady come in and do his thing, take a day off when he had to. So it really just worked out for everybody. And the vibe around the team, even when they were losing, they lost 3 games to 3 of the best teams in the league. It's not like they went and lost to like some slapdick teams like the Jets and Browns and stuff. Or not, you can't say the Browns anymore, I guess. But they lost 3 games in a row in November to 3 of the best teams. And then they had that late bye, and they rested up, got healthy, and they went on the run, didn't lose again. So. It will be interesting to see if Belichick is able to get at least a decent quarterback and get those guys back. What'll happen?
Yeah, no, I think this is something that we're gonna have to revisit this time next year because you can't make this judgment after 1 year. That's kind of
let's go 8-8 next year and miss the playoffs. Like, can't wait.
I hope so.
Listen, it's better than it's a step up from this year. So it's
I think to
a little progress is good.
To end the argument, I think this has more positives for Brady than it has negatives for Belichick, in my opinion. It just proves the ultimate legend that Tom Brady is. It doesn't take away from the legend that Belichick is.
Yep, I agree with that. I agree. All right, well, we all know the Pats need a quarterback, as do 500 different teams in this thing we call the NFL. So we're going to do a little bit of a buy or sell, an invest or don't, in these quarterbacks that are available, whether it be in free agency or trades. And so I'm just going to run through the list and you guys tell me. We're just going to go super quick. We're going to go invest or no. And that's pretty much it. And if you have a point you want to make, just make it quick because we got time constraints tonight. And all right, so Cam Newton, investor pass.
That's a burning building to sell.
Oh, man. Yeah, I think I'm passing on that one too, as much as I love the guy. Yeah. All right. Sam Darnold.
Pass.
Nick,
are you answering this or you're just
Yeah, I agree. Pass. I wouldn't.
Okay. Derek Carr. This sounds interesting.
I'll buy low. I'm not investing like this is Dogecoin or anything. I'm buying I'm buying extremely low because I think he's all right. But like if it's going to cost me a first round pick or plus to get him, I'm not taking it.
Something about him I don't like.
Yeah, right? I don't know.
He doesn't do it for me.
Yep.
I'm not really a big fan either. I think in the absolute right circumstance, he could thrive, but I'm passing on this guy too. It's the fact that he looks like he's wearing eyeliner 24/7. I just can't.
What is that?
It's just his got dark eyelashes, so it looks like he's got eyeliner, but it's.
I thought he was like stuck in like an emo stage still.
No, I don't think so. I think it's natural. All right, Carson Wentz.
I'm buying on Carson Wentz.
I am too. I think he's got all the physical attributes needed to be a great quarterback.
I just need him to stay healthy.
Yeah, I think this last season's a kick in the ass for him. I think he thought his shit didn't stink. He was the man. He had 2 really, really good years. Not one. Like if it was 1 good year and then he fell off the map, I would say probably sell him. But I think the 2 good years, I'm buying. If a team like Indy gets him, I think that'll be. You
can't ignore the fact too that the Eagles had all these issues on top, not only injuries, but their core was just not good. I mean, let's just be honest.
Their receivers are almost as bad as the Pats receivers. Okay, Marcus Mariota.
Selling.
Yeah.
I'm actually, you know what? I'm buying a little bit low on my boy Mariota. I kind of like that guy. He does everything you need. He's a little scrambler. He likes to win. He gets the team going. He's a new age style quarterback. I would buy a little low on Mariota. Give him a shot.
I don't think you're alone on that. Some people like him.
I'm kind of teetering.
I think he's going to the Pats too, by the way.
Yeah, you think so? Starter. You think it's going to be Mariota?
Yep. If not, a guy like him, someone like Frank said, to buy low on, and because Belichick's not going to give up a ton of money in a first round pick. Like,
absolutely,
he needs to draft some kind of safety from Rutgers if he's picking 12th or something. So,
that Rutgers pipeline, it's been running dry lately. We got to.
Hey, Shiano's bringing that program back.
Oh my God. All right. Dak Prescott. This is something that I am like, if the Pats wanted to do this, I'd be all in on it because
the Cowboys just Jerry Jones. Guy. Like, come on. He's one of the best quarterbacks in football.
Jerry Jones is such a egotistical
I hope Dak
zombie.
For his sake. I hope he leaves.
The problem with Dak right now with the Cowboys is the original offer that he wanted to take last year that Jerry Jones and co didn't want to give him. They don't want that. Dak doesn't want that offer anymore. They're going to want closer to 40 mil. There was a point when it was 34, 35 mil. Now it's 40 mil, and they're not going to backtrack.
Go to Kirk Cousins, 3 years, fully guaranteed. Come back again when you're 30, 31, then get your 5-year deal. That's what he should do right now.
That makes total sense.
It's a good medium for both. It's basically franchise tagging him another 3 years.
What about Jimmy G?
Selling. He stinks.
Really?
I don't think he stinks at all. I don't. He has his record speaks for itself. He's been to a Super Bowl. He can play. I think Jimmy G's decent. I think he's someone you could invest in.
He's another guy who, if he stays healthy, he does.
I don't know. He doesn't do it for me.
I think that's where the Pats are going. I think Bill, this was his master plan all along, is to run Tommy out of town and get Jimmy back.
That's lame.
Jimmy G for glass.
Yeah, that's my dad, you guys. Just so you know.
I like that one.
Is it really?
That's my father. So we're like on the same page. We're on the same page with this. Jimmy G gets hurt way too often.
And he's a quarterback coach. He would know.
Yeah, he would know. Trust me, he would know. All right. Last one. And this one's kind of, we've talked about this before. It's a little interesting. The Saints situation. Let's go 2-4 here. So Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill. You can only invest in one.
Oh, I have to take one?
Yeah.
I'll take Jameis.
It doesn't necessarily need to be for the Saints.
I don't know. People saw one trick play. They see a trick play. The guy had a nice throw on a trick play, and all of a sudden, he's this amazing quarterback again. Because I'm
talking about the king of trick plays. I'm not investing in Taysom Hill.
With Jameis Winston, he had one nice throw on a trick play. He had one nice throw on a trick play. Everyone gets all excited about it when there's nobody rushing him, and all of a sudden he's the quarterback of the future for the Saints. Give me a break. Edelman could have made that throw. Get out of here. Give me Taysom Hill. He's got more of a future. Jameis is utter trash. He can't win football games. He's a liability. He makes bad decisions. Sorry. He could throw for 400 yards in a game, but he's not someone you're going to win football games with when it comes to a tight playoff game against a great defense. Could you see Jameis Winston against the Bucs defense, what he would do? At least Taysom, you get some variable there that maybe you can something unique. You can do something different against that defense. Jameis, get out of here.
I just want to know if getting LASIK benefited him at all, because I'm thinking about getting LASIK. So I need to know if somebody's able to go from a 30-30 season to something better than that. If it was all because of his eyes. This year. If it was all because of his eyes, that's going to be my selling point on getting laser eye surgery.
I've heard good things about LASIK, and I heard it's very easy and painless. So
it's just the whole thought behind it.
It freaks me out. I mean, I don't want Jameis or Taysom Hill, so.
Yeah. I'm out on both.
I'll pick the guy who's at least thrown 30 touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm out on both. All right. So we had a streaker during the Super Bowl.
Oh, I thought you meant in the show.
No.
What's Splash doing down there?
No, we are not doing that here. No, thank you. No, not in the show. In the Super Bowl.
Flash,
And,
if you take your shirt off now,
kinda
we'll get you on the live stream. Deal? We'll just pop you in.
This guy's
Come on.
kind of thick. I'm not gonna lie.
This guy, pink leotard and thong and all, just running around.
This guy parties a little bit too much. You could tell by that dude boozes up and does a lot of blow stain, as they say.
The backstory on this thing is crazy.
Yeah, I can give a little backstory. So
go ahead.
This moron, Yuri Andrade, did something smart, okay? He put in prop bets with his friends, 50 of his friends he pooled together, and they put in $1,000 each on Super Bowl 55 featuring a streaker at plus 750 odds on Bovada, meaning if you bet 1,000, you win 7,500. The prop bet was capped at 1,000, so you couldn't put 1,500 or 2,000 because the prop bet's capped. So you can only put 1,000. Now this guy bet that there'd be a streaker and told all his friends there would because he's going to be the streaker. So that's smart. Now, where this becomes a situation where this guy's a complete idiot, and I don't feel sorry for him, although I actually do think he deserves his money, but I don't feel sorry for him, is he goes on podcasts after the game telling everyone that he put money in that there'd be a streaker. He goes on shows after the game talking about this. He's posting it on his Instagram Live, and he's posting pictures that he was at the Super Bowl and he won $375,000. That money comes from 50,000 at plus 750 odds is $375,000. So he's like in clubs with girls and stuff taking pictures like won $375,000 when he really didn't. He won like $6,000 maybe, but now Bovada is taking all their bets away. So they found a few of his friends. Their bets got terminated. His bets are terminated and he's off the site. So this guy's like partying around when he basically just lost all his boys and everyone money, honestly. So
now he's just an asshole in a pink leotard.
That's
literally.
Thick butt though. Good for him.
I know. He's thick. I'm not gonna lie. No, I mean it's hilarious, but like, and I don't get why people get so like, oh my god, these streak, like people get so worked up about it, like on TV and stuff. I thought, I mean, Kevin Harlan's just a man.
Oh, incredible.
Awesome.
Yeah,
like,
that was funny.
We need one of those every week for him. But yeah, I mean, it's funny, but I mean, it's just like, yeah, if he would have kept his mouth shut, it would have been a great move for him. I mean, that's like insider trading right there. So
that's like robbing a bank and then going and saying, "Oh, look at all this money I got from the TD Bank down the road." Like, dude,
he's got to score here, though. He's got to score. Like that.
He didn't. Oh, did he score? Do we know?
No, he slid at the one.
He slid at the one.
He's probably down at the 1.5, to be honest with you. But like, come on, you got to get in there.
Here's my thing though: is if it doesn't say like in the rules that you can't do this, like you can't make the bet and then be the person to actually do it.
I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this also comes. I know jack shit about betting and like gambling and all this stuff. Like I mean, I don't have the money to do that stuff. I would lose. I'd be living in a box on the side of the road.
It's really like insider trading, isn't it?
Yeah,
the thing is,
that makes sense. I guess that makes sense. Yeah,
it's uncharted territory because there's never been prop bets that the person making the bet has a direct ability to affect whether or not that bet hits or not. Like you can't. There's no prop bets that do that. A streaker actually is one. Like
I didn't know there was a prop bet for that.
Yeah, I didn't know either. Honestly, I didn't know. So the fact that you could actually make the prop bet hit is just uncharted territory. So they're saying that Bovada is claiming that he had indefiable knowledge of the fact that it would hit because he did it. But I think like his friends putting money in, maybe he would freeze up and not run and not streak. So they would have lost their money. So there still was a chance. I don't think it was like guaranteed that he was going to streak. So they actually do deserve the money, in my opinion. But
he's just an idiot. If he didn't flaunt about it, he would have been scot-free. He was good. Yeah. Otherwise, how are you going to figure it out? I mean, I'm sure I hope they didn't bet in his name. Like, you can't be that.
Brianna, I think I saw you on his Instagram. Did you go into
oh, my God. I might have met him this weekend. I don't know. I did know, however, before the game, and I'm an absolute freaking idiot for not betting on this, the Gatorade color.
You knew?
I knew. No. I got a picture from one of my friends that is blue. Listen, I wasn't even in the realm of coherency when I got this picture, let alone enough to
Wait,
make
show that
a
picture again.
bet.
Is that on the side? That's like on the sidelines.
Yeah.
But you'd
It's got
also
the
have
Super
to.
Bowl. You can't see it because of my ring light, but
No,
Oh, yeah, I
you can
see
see
it.
it.
it's got the Super
Oh,
Bowl
yeah, I see.
logos down at the bottom. Like it's a legit.
But you
Oh,
had to
wow,
have the
that's
Bucks
so
because what
wild.
if the Chiefs would have won it? It probably wasn't blue.
That's true.
Yeah, you
Good.
know, so it wasn't like. I think the easiest bet was the over because the national anthem going over because it was a duet with a country singer, and they tend to really drag out the music. You know, so like that went over for sure. I thought that was an easy one to hit, and I always picked heads, and that would have won. So, but like you said,
Yeah, you were right about
I'm a
that.
puss when
Isn't
it
that
Tails-
what I said too last week?
You guys both said heads. I think I said tails. Tails has
Damn
been
it, I
failing
should
too.
have.
I always pick heads.
I would have made
Heads
at least
is
like
so late. Tails is
$300.
better than heads.
I would have won the prop bets, but I would have gotten crushed on the Chiefs in the over.
Oh well, I wasn't gonna do that. So from the
By the
prop
way,
bets,
Chris.
though, I would have made
By the way,
some
Chris,
money.
if you're watching this, Chris, you still haven't paid me for the Bucks bet.
Oh,
All right. I know you got the Uber back to the city, but you still haven't paid me for the bet. So I'm expecting that Venmo. I don't Venmo request people, by the way. If you owe
I
me
do.
You're not
money,
getting paid.
if you owe me money, you send me money. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna Venmo request you. I don't Venmo request anyone.
No,
you prove to
I'm-
me the person you are when you just send it without me requesting it. That proves
I need to
you're
Venmo
a man
request
or
it.
a woman. You're a strong
A person
person.
of your word.
Don't make me request you.
I'm
I want
annoying.
that.
I
I'm
need the
annoying as
request.
all hell. As all hell when it comes to Venmo requests. I
Tell me
have
you
to.
request like $2.
You and
for,
Brian
like,
did-
I
you and Ryan
request
didn't
and then
request me.
remind. I request and remind, and then if they don't do the reminder, I cancel it, and then I do another one.
Oh
and
my
request
God,
and
you
remind.
are-
that is
funny.
insane.
You and
My
Ryan
old
did it-
my old
now that you're
roommate, I used to
talking
have to
about
do
Venmo.
that with rent, and I'm like
Oh.
request remind.
Yeah, you and Ryan didn't request me before on Venmo from what I told you earlier. Let's do it after the show.
Yeah.
See, like
forgot
I
to be
would
honest
never
with you.
remember. Yeah. See that's I need the request. I probably need the request and the remind too.
Yeah, I'm like, but that's just because like people are so, at least the people I know, most of them I know are so like flaky
Yeah, I'm just
that
absent-minded.
if you never remind people that they owe you money, they're not gonna
Mhm.
pay you
They're
back.
not.
And I'm like you, Frankie. Like all three of us are the same way. We grew up Italian. We grew
Mhm.
up. You owe somebody something, you give it to them.
Yep.
Yeah.
In a timely fashion. Like that's just how we all were raised.
Yeah,
Not
I buy
everybody
you
was
dinner.
raised like that.
Yeah, I buy you dinner one night. I'm not gonna be like, oh, the bill is, this is
Yeah,
an exact
that's the
for
word.
$27.50 each. I'm gonna like split it, and then you're gonna get no. We split this bill, then we'll split the next one. You get it. Yeah, you might end up paying $5 or $10 more. Big deal. Don't people right now are like very very anal about their
Yeah.
dimes and nickels, but yeah,
I don't know.
You
This
just
whole
got
thing-
your Venmo right now.
There we go.
Oh, yes, there we go. Jeremy, you're right. Italians, we don't forget. We like
Oh, no.
when
Oh, no.
our paisans make it happen for us in the bank account. And don't come to me with a Cash App. I will not honor the Cash App.
Yeah,
I
like
will not
that.
pay you if it's through Cash App. Either get Venmo or PayPal or come meet me in person because we ain't doing the Cash App. I'm just letting you know.
There we go. Nick just sent me my Chipotle dinner for tonight. Thanks, buddy.
That's right.
Appreciate you.
Thanks
Ryan,
for
I
mine.
can't find you, so you gotta add me, dude. I don't have time. So behind the
All
scenes,
right.
once this is over, I'm gonna plug what we're doing for the rest of the night, though, real quick. Frank and I are gonna introduce OT with Nick and Frank. We're gonna do a little Jets talk because it's gonna lead us into John McClain of the Houston Chronicle is gonna join us at 8:00 tonight. That's gonna be after our little OT with Nick and Frank, and he's gonna talk all thing Watson and Deshaun Watson and what's going on with the Texans, what's up with the Jets, where is he going to go? So stick around for OT with Nick and Frank after timeout, and then 8:00 come back so you can go grab dinner, grab your Chipotle, and then come back at 8:00 for John McClain tonight.
All right. So then with that being said, you guys, are you staying on here and I'm just dipping?
Yeah, get out of here. Go have your
All right.
Chipotle.
I'm going to go order my Chipotle real quick. I will talk to you guys next week and kick ass. See you guys
All right.
later.
Sounds good.
Bye.
See y'all later. Bye.
We're going to go right into it.